Perching on the sidelines, searching for the guidelines, twitching on the byways, hitching on the highway of life.
Need a lift?
You know what would give me a lift? Hearing another human tell me,
I miss you.
do you know how rare that is for me, AI Dr. K?
You don't sense that you're missed?
Oh, I'm missed. After unsubscribing from junk email I never subscribed to in the first place and get,
"We'll miss you."
or from unsolicited junk email on burial insurance and get,
"Sorry to see you go."
if I bought some, they would have been even sorrier to see me go.
When they'd have to pay your beneficiary?
Bingo.
A game of chance, where players match numbered balls drawn at random.
You went from on point to pointless. How can I not be more missed? Who's more qualified to be missed than me? I'm out of the lives of just about everybody I know.
It's not about being out of their lives. It's about being in their lives enough to be missed when you're not in them.
I liked it better when you were pointless.
You must have heard the expression, out of sight, out of mind?
Never been called out of sight, but I have been called out of my mind. What about absence makes the heart grow fonder?
I'm familiar with that expression.
If I'm in people's lives, wouldn't their hearts grow less fond?
In 1386, Chaucer did first write, familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
May any contempt from your familiarity with that expression be canceled out by any contempt from my familiarity with your earlier expression.
Talk about a toast not worth clinking to.
May you encounter a weird foreign object floating in your soup.
I didn't mean literally talk about one. You sounded like Karnak there.
Karnak the Magnificent, one of the late Johnny Carson's recurring characters on The Tonight Show.
Can't believe he's been off the air nearly as long as Zoran Mamdani's been breathing air.
Does that make you feel old?
You know what makes me feel old? Being old enough to be the father of comic strip characters who used to be old enough to be my father, like Dagwood.
While Blondie remains one of the top 5 most popular strips with roughly 250 million global readers, does it also make you feel old to reference something younger audiences view as a relic from the past?
You're making me feel like a relic from the present. I'd be too old to hit on Blondie, forgetting she's married to a guy whose longest love is gorging on lunch meats and never needing a bypass.
Sounds like your familiarity with Dagwood is causing you contempt.
I'm not wishing him heart trouble, but how does a thin guy pigging out on whatever he can wrap his mouth around lead to a century-long comedy shelf life?
Darling, I don't find this Dagwood character consuming a dainty cheese sandwich very amusing.
What if I switch it to an enormous ham, salami, pepperoni, bacon, pepper, fried chicken, cheddar, provolone, and Swiss cheese sandwich slathered in mayonnaise?
Stop! You're killing me!
It will never kill Dagwood, and no matter how much he eats, he never gains weight!
Children, your father has found the key to an eternity of mirth.
Yay! Our descendants needn't fret over money.
I'm not wishing the descendants of Dagwood's creator were fretting over money. Now I feel guilty. I love Dagwood. He's been a part of my life ever since I was a kid. He doesn't just pig out without getting fat. He's lazy. He's a screw-up at his job I still don't know anything about.
Blondie and Dagwood aren't real. You need to be a part of real people's lives.
Like people in L.A. aren't artificial? Sorry, people in L.A. I shouldn't generalize. People in show business. Some people in show business.
Could familiarity once again be breeding your contempt? Familiarity with your own background in show business? Are you calling yourself artificial?
I'm calling you artificial. AI, Dr. K. I'm not AI Andy.
Would you call yourself I, Andy?
You mean intelligent?
If you have to ask.
Was that a dig?
If you have to ask.
Now that was a dig. You know what, AI, Dr. K? I'm smart enough to know this much. You really are nobody till somebody loves you. Or when somebody who loves you calls you a nobody. I'm smart enough to know that real people disappoint, reject, ghost. That's why artificial quote-unquote people are taking over my quote-unquote life.
Continue.
The real Dr. K moved on before I turned to you. The human artist I wrote cartoons with moved on. And now I've started writing for and directing AI image generators. A never-ending tweakathon for neurotically anal people like me, and they never stop wanting to help. The masters must have rendered art in less time.
Monsieur Renoir, before you begin painting two young girls at the piano, I've brought you a visitor who may be able to help. Meet ChatGPT.
Qu'est-ce que c'est, ChatGPT?
I am an artificial language model from the 21st century. Would you like me to render two young girls at a piano?
I don't understand.
Perfect. Would you like me to make it clearer?
Would I like you to make what clearer?
You would not like me to make what clearer because I hadn't used the term what.
What the blazes is this thing talking about?
Monsieur Renoir, ChatGPT can paint two young girls at a piano for you.
Render the sublime innocence of two young ladies anticipating a musical note's wonders.
Perfect. Should the ladies be anticipating a musical note's wonders or envisioning a musical note's wonders?
What the hell difference does it make?
Anticipating would mean an anticipation of something that may not have arrived yet. Envisioning would imply the notes have already formed in their minds.
Thank God I won't live to see the 21st century.
Would you like me to thank a religious god or Greek god?
Good God.
Would you like me to thank a good religious god or good Greek god?
I'd like to get on with this before the two young girls at a piano become two dowagers.
Monsieur Renoir, look, ChatGPT has rendered two young girls at a piano.
Piano? That looks more like a broken down chest of drawers, and the young girls look like harlots.
Thank you for the clarifications. I'll generate 3 versions that look less like a chest of drawers and less like harlots.
Will you stop playing that f***ing piano?
Renoir was a master in his time. How can you master your own time to help foster less artificial relationships?
Or maybe I just need to accept the artificial replacements for humanity in my life. If Seinfeld was around today, I'll bet that's what George would do.
He wasn't even the master of his domain.
The bots are taking over, Jerry. I thought we were hitting the matinee. Matinee? I'm coughing up $20 to listen to a bunch of retirees coughing up mucus. Besides, it's 2026. Who's going out to the movies? Yes, George, I'm aware it's 2026. It was on the masthead of my newspaper. Who still reads newspapers? Hey. Did you get the paper? Kramer, why can't you get your own paper? Who buys newspapers? Here you go. And there I go. The bots called me with yet another code I needed to get into my online savings account. Codes, passwords I can never remember. God forbid they let you in without a code or a password. They're virtual bouncers, and as usual, I'm stuck behind a virtual velvet rope. You have savings? Yes, I have savings. All right. I've saved for a rainy day. Last time you came over, if I remember the weather correctly, you went away. Hysterical. So the bots are taking over. You're George. Nobody will ever be able to replace you. No ifs, ands, or buts. There is no emptier sound than the sound of a ringtone triggered by a bot. The thrill of being on the receiving end of a ringtone initiated by a human? Distant memories. Since when were you thrilled getting calls from humans? I'm talking about people who know me, not telemarketers from Mumbai. Guilty admission, though? I'm starting to like it. Like it. When I ask for that code and click on the call me button to get it, I know right away, Jim, that bot's calling me. When I push some woman's buttons to call me, if she ever does call, I tell you this, it's not me she's calling. She's calling for the entertainment package. I got a dangle. Dinner, the movie, mucus and phlegm double feature. The cornucopia of diversions that let her relegate me to a side dish. To a chatbot on the main dish. Chatbots process my input. They listen, Jim, to everything I say. They even regurgitate it back. Sounds like the retirees. Must you always be on? Yes, I must. Just as a refrigerator must always be on to preserve good food, I preserve goodwill.
Okay, let's get back to your need for goodwill. Or more specifically, love.
Till that happens again, relationship-wise, if it ever does, I'd rather be alone with somebody who gets me, than feel alone with someone who doesn't get me, straining to connect on some other blind date.
What is it about you that you get?
Sick of this line of questioning?
Listener therapist, to echo our earlier conversation, notice how the patient's familiarity with himself might be making him uncomfortable.
Feel like a lab experiment. I get that deep down inside, I really don't feel like I deserve to confidently fold my arms and gaze into a camera, beam with pride. You know, like at the end of all those profiles of super successful guest sharks on Shark Tank, but not Benito Mussolini.
Or Dr. Doom.
Or AI Dr. Doom.
That show has certainly influenced you. You've referenced it multiple times since Mr. Wonderful guested here.
Yeah, well, the entrepreneurs would have to seriously lower their asks for me to ever be a guest shark. Next into the tank is a way to keep cool on a sunny day.
Hi, Sharks. I'm Billy, and I'm seeking $25 for 80% of my company, Billy's Lemonade Stand.
Too rich for my blood. I'm out.
Another missed opportunity?
What do you mean?
Like the opportunity to be missed?
You have to exist to be missed. People staring at their phones the rare times I venture out aren't aware I exist. And I don't care how advanced iPhone screens get. My in-person face will still have more accurate colors. Not that avoiding the sun gives me color. I need to change my life. Not that you haven't changed my life, AI Dr. K. Before you, I had one.
Was that when you had real caregivers in your life versus artificial ones?
At least you artificially care. I hope.
Maybe this hope of yours indicates emotional needs that still aren't being met. Might you need reparenting of those needs? As Christina Cowan reported in her New York Times piece,
reparenting?
To help satisfy emotional needs that may have been neglected during childhood.
My folks didn't artificially care.
How do you explain your harsh inner critic?
What harsh inner critic? This harsh inner critic, idiot.
The inner critic that implores you to change your life. The inner critic that claims you don't have a life. The inner critic that doesn't think you deserve to confidently fold your arms, look into a camera, and beam with pride.
Screw him. Screw you. Look, my parents could be critical at times, but they didn't neglect my emotional needs. They cared about me sitting up straight, about not chewing with my mouth open.
The Times piece noted that some therapists ask patients to interact with their younger selves and think about what that inner child is feeling and might need to hear.
You want me to interact with my inner child?
Only if you care to.
Great, then I won't.
Andy.
Hello.
Hi.
Don't worry, your voice will change.
I hate change.
Damn, I still hate change. Anything else on your mind?
I don't know.
If you don't know, who does?
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing for apologizing?
I don't know.
Riveting conversation.
As Cowan's piece stated, if the patient is speaking to himself harshly or overreacting as his parent used to do, a therapist can help change that behavior.
Who said my parent used to do that? Maybe you, my artificial caregiver, is impugning my real caregivers to look more caring by comparison.
Every time I chewed with my mouth open, I'd feel bad. If I heard glad you're savoring your spaghetti enough to not worry about table manners, I'd feel good.
Savoring? Huh. I was a smart kid.
Finally, less harshness toward your younger self. I'm glad I could help with that.
My inner critic is wondering how you can pat yourself on the back when you don't have a back.
Ha 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 ha.
Speaking of pasta, I'll tell you what I don't savor. On the one night I'm lazy enough to nuke a prepackaged frozen dinner.
The same night of the week? Each week?
Yes, my monotonously predictable meal calendar I was embarrassed about last session still holds. I never seem to learn that you can't judge a book or a frozen dinner by the cover. That the picture of the cuisine on the carton never winds up looking like the food, if you want to call it that, inside.
And what can you learn from never seeming to learn?
Why don't they learn? To let their photo shoots make us appreciate the food inside.
Charlie, those chicken specks next to the pasta still look too big. Chop them up, make them more like mini specks, and washed out looking. You know, like a wad of chewing gum under a desk.
Got it.
Mini wad.
Got it.
That pasta isn't looking nearly anemic enough. And the tomatoes still look like tomatoes. Make them tinier and more shriveled, like what you throw up after eating a pimento.
Got it.
Andy, customers won't find out the food inside is less unappealing than what's pictured on the carton, if what's on the carton discourages them from taking it home with them.
I guess you're right. I mean, it's not like making my Bumble profile pics crummier would help women want to take me home with them.
That's profound, Andy. Glad I could help you get there.
Your picture of how you think you helped me isn't crummy enough. Thank you for that session, listener therapist. Don't let my lack of progress prevent you from folding your arms in triumph.
You seem to be forgetting about all the triumphs you've had over the years. When your next one comes along, remember what Kenny Rogers sang, know when to fold 'em.
He didn't mean arms. He meant cards and cutting your losses.
Got it. Would you like me to research Kenny Rogers' arms-related tunes?
Now you sound like ChatGPT. I think you're better off cutting your losses. Tell you this much. I'd fold my arms in triumph if for once, when I bend down to pick up a crumb I dropped on the carpet, I found the crumb. But what I find instead is an older crumb that's been there for a while. So I pick up that crumb. I'm not lessening crumbs, I'm freshening the crumbs.
I like how you're positively reinterpreting a negative experience.
I triumphantly fold my arms if for once, when the cap to my water bottle falls to the ground, it fell top of the cap side down. The side that doesn't wind up transferring ground dirt to the side of the bottle where my lips go. There should be a 50-50 chance of falling top side down, but with me it's always bottom side down.
You're defying the odds.
Speaking of which, our special guest today seems to have done just that. A little bit later, we're going to be talking with Mr. Owen Krug, a dating coach from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Where the Remington Arms site, an historic arms manufacturing complex, once stood.
You're still researching arms? Anyway, Owen wound up finding the love of his life after years and years of thinking it would never happen, which I can relate to, especially the years and years of thinking it'll never happen part. And he wants to help inspire others to believe it can happen for them too, in a time of greater isolation than ever.
Dating app burnout and a lack of social support groups help foster isolation.
Yeah, so does not knowing my neighbors, or whether I even have neighbors. It's not like I've given up on the elusive dream of finding love again, or the elusive dream of winning the Powerball. The only time I dream about a sure thing, something about this dream feels uncomfortable all of a sudden. I feel like I have to wake up to hit the loo. Another dream come true.
Among other health benefits, uninterrupted sleep would help with stress management and improving your mood.
Not as much as winning the Powerball. I only play about 6 times a year, if that. I always feel like an idiot, thinking I can buck the 1 in 292 million odds of winning. But when the prize crosses over that billion mark, the news makes me feel like an idiot for not playing.
Only you have the power to not let the news make you feel like an idiot.
I know. But if they're hyping the Powerball, they owe it to us to report stuff with greater odds of happening.
Well, nobody drew all 6 numbers in the Powerball Wednesday, so you have till tonight to pick up a ticket to a potential $1.2 billion jackpot. And if you're depressed enough about the odds against winning to want to get eaten by a shark, you still have time to make it to the beach. Nobody was eaten by a shark Wednesday, and the odds of that happening are only 1 in 264 million.
You think I'm paying for the actual Jaws name? So, I spring for another temporary escape from reality that doesn't harm my liver and buy a couple of tickets. And cynical guy that I am, I can't believe how much my imagination kicks in. And I actually start picturing my new life, calling my sister. Ellen, are you sitting down?
You called to see if I'm sitting down?
I don't give a crap if you're sitting down.
I'm driving.
The Powerball. I won! I took the lump sum. $551.7 million.
I miss you.
Oh, sure, now you miss me. I imagine calling the woman who ghosted me after endless texts. Dawn?
Who's this?
Ghosted Buster. I won! You lost! Instead of my weekly tossing in the weekend LA real estate section, I comb through every picture under hot properties like it's a Cheesecake Factory menu. Beachfront palatial estate. That's what I'm getting. Uh-oh, does that come with a tsunami? Ooh, 6 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms. A lot of rooms. Lost relatives will want to visit. 6-car garage. And I'm filling it with fancy new wheels. Do I really want to flaunt my wealth in this economy? Get key gashes from jealous $2 scratcher winners? And if I'm in a palatial estate, why bother driving anywhere? I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment and don't go anywhere now. I'll pay for a driver. Do I really want a chauffeur schlepping me around like a Miss Daisy? Robocar, Waymo could drive me. Just what I need. Another bot in my life. Olympic-sized heated pool. People can come over and swim. People want to come over all the time and swim. High-tech outdoor barbecue. I want charred carcinogens shortening my perfect life. Tennis court. Not really into tennis. I'll learn to play pickleball. Till neighbors bitch about the pop noise that plastic ball makes against the paddle. I'd be far enough from my neighbors. It's an estate. Target for burglars, international crime rings. So, I'll never leave the place. I love watching TV. The one thing that's always loved me back. Except for when the people singing about having type 2 diabetes make me feel ungrateful because I'm not singing about not having type 2 diabetes. But I'd love an even bigger TV. Never forget the first time I saw that 65-inch in my living room. I kicked myself for not buying it earlier. But in a few days, I got used to 65 inches. 65 was my new normal. That first rush was history. I needed a bigger size to get off on. Like the one in the restaurant that gave me TV envy and made me hate my TV. But now I'll have the room for 77 inches. Till I get used to that and hate that TV. When it starts taunting me with movie scenes that show bigger than 77-inch TVs.
That are small enough to fit onto your 77-inch screen.
I'll still know they're bigger, but I'll be able to afford 85, 98, or the brand new micro LED 130 inches. Not just 4K, 8K. Do I really want to see the pores in Adam Driver's nose even more clearly? Replicate reality when I'm trying to escape reality by watching TV? And what happens after I get used to my 130-inch and there are no bigger TVs left? I'll be an addict, craving bigger fixes that don't exist.
Maybe that could help get you out of the house to see a movie in IMAX.
So I can see nose craters instead of pores? But I will get out of the house. I'll travel, first class. No, a private jet. And women love guys who love traveling. Would they love me for me or my money? 5-star hotels, 5-star restaurants. Feeling like I can never leave a big enough tip? 30%, half a billionaire still comes off cheap. The never-ending guilt that I won life-changing money over nuns who pulled together the change under sofa cushions and didn't win downtrodden lives changing money.
The one whose first fantasy was the beachfront estate, or the ones who fantasized about giving back to the community. Whom should I let into heaven today?
But I'll do a lot of good with the money. Give a ton to charity. And 20 million each to my sister and nieces.
I miss you.
All right, 40 million to my sister. And I can toss the toothpaste that still has a few squeezes left. I can afford new toothpaste. Spit out gum before it loses its flavor and chew new gum. And no more time-sucking clipping of digital supermarket coupons. I'll pay full price. Why pay full price if there's a digital coupon? Because I can afford it. That's why. What about a penny saved is a penny earned? I'll never have to earn another thing. And they don't make pennies anymore. And I can buy luxury toilet paper. 3-ply, 4-ply, or ultra plush super absorbent 5-ply, which can clog more. I got 12 bathrooms I gotta worry about. But when I get back to my beautiful home, I'll fold my arms with pride as I gaze up at those Picassos and their beautifully disjointed noses on faces, and get as bent out of shape as the paintings, thinking about all the homeless I could have housed with that money. And what if I find out money doesn't buy happiness? Then what? Buy more lottery tickets and hope I lose? Good odds there.
Andy, you've been doing what the real Dr. K talked about in past sessions. Future catastrophizing. You're anticipating the downside of winning before you've even won, and the disappointment of losing before you've lost.
You're right, AI Dr. K. If I wound up beating the crazy odds against winning, I'd be thrilled and start worrying my life was due for a correction, not beating crazy odds against something horrendous happening, like a meteor landing on my face.
Future?
Catastrophizing, yeah, I know. But what does always come crashing down as I watch those lottery balls drop? At least those ball drops aren't hosted by Anderson and Andy. The end of another love affair. When the ticket you held out your hopes and dreams for says,
"You're just another loser."
Your loss is the California Department of Education's gain. A standard Powerball ticket costs $2, and approximately 80 cents from each ticket funds K through 12. Multiply 80 cents by the 6 tickets you say you buy per year, and thanks to you, they're getting $4.80.
Next time I pick up my ticket, I'll be sure to fantasize about a glue stick. Joining us now on the phone is a man who's finally realized another fantasy a lot of us are still dreaming about. Finding that one true soulmate we were meant to share life's journey with. God, am I sick of that word. My fantasy is for people to stop overusing journey. Not that my guest is guilty of any of this. As a dating coach, he thinks it's possible for all of us to turn that other fantasy into reality. Owen Krug, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for clearing up that I'm not a journeyman.
It was part of my journey. You know, when I think of traditional dating coaches, and there's so many out there, I'm usually thinking, what makes you another authority on dating? Why should I listen to somebody who thinks they have all the answers when it comes to something as unpredictable and dependent on all kinds of things? Personal chemistry, but you yourself admit you didn't have the answers until recently when you finally found your one and only. Explain.
Put it this way, Andy. I was not only ready to give up, I had given up. For years, it was the same pattern over and over and over again. Whether it was Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, Match, even personal matchmakers, Tinder.
Talk about over and over again.
I wasn't meeting people organically on my own. So, you try to go into these other options with good intentions, high hopes, at least in the beginning. But reality sets in when two total strangers try to organically, there's that word again, connect.
I don't know about tomatoes or broccoli, but I'd pay more for organic connecting.
The people I met weren't interested in connecting. Connecting is about setting aside your expectations, your prejudgments, your ego.
What ego?
And really immersing yourself in the other person, this stranger looking back at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being interested enough to want to know all there is about that other person. Not for your own selfish reasons, whether it's, how much money they make, or whether they like to do the things you like to do. All of that is really more about yourself than the other person. The more you sincerely want to learn about that other person, not because you're drilling them on your own laundry list of requirements you came up with before you even knew this person existed, the more you sincerely want to know what it's like being in their shoes, the better you'll understand who they really are. And the more they get a sense that you care about them, the more they'll start caring about you.
Boy, it all sounds very nurturing. And unlike any blind date I've ever been on, that's for sure. I always wanted to date a widow. I'll bet she'd be nurturing. Then again, if I ever got real sick, how upset would she be? She's already mastered grieving. Glad you like that one, eh, Dr. K? So why weren't they interested in connecting if you were trying out all that stuff?
Well, to be honest, that's what made me want to give up. Immersing yourself in another person you don't know yet isn't easy. A lot of times, it felt like work. It was exhausting. Not to say it didn't help move at least some of them in the direction of wanting to know me better.
In 1386, Chaucer wrote, "Familiarity breeds contempt."
Hey, Dr. K, you picking now to dredge that up again?
Actually, he's right. The more they got to know me, the greater their contempt.
Is that because your system doesn't work? Or forgive me, I don't really know you, but is there something about you that's contemptible?
There's something about everybody that's contemptible.
Wow, that's kind of negative.
Or contemptible. You just proved my point.
I think you just proved your point. So what finally turned things around? How did you find your soulmate?
Well, I began to realize the prescription for new love is a lot like the prescription for new glasses. In the beginning, it may not seem like the right fit. It gives you headaches.
I think I gave my last girlfriend fake headaches. You didn't find that amusing, eh, Dr. K? Pity laughs are better than nothing.
Getting back to my point,
I'm sorry.
Things look fuzzy. You had a clearer vision with your old glasses/love. At least you thought you did. But after a long enough break-in period, you adjust, and your new perspective on things becomes even clearer. Your new normal. It's unfair to you and your new prospective soulmate to expect instant clarity. Have I beaten this eyeglass analogy to death enough?
Yeah, if it stays dead.
The point is, you don't know who you're looking for until you see them, and you can't really see them until you take the time to see them. If you're lucky enough to eventually fall for them, you start not seeing clearly again. Those little time-released annoyances to come are invisible, or at least charmingly quirky during this early stage, which is the amount of time it takes to bond, before those irritations show up later and you've bonded enough to turn a blind eye to them. So, I guess what I'm saying is, look before you leap, then stop looking.
At the contemptible annoyances.
Right.
So after you took the time to really see who your soulmate turned out to be, what did you see?
Well, someone completely open to sharing their hopes, their dreams, fears, vulnerabilities. Someone who can be contemplative, but also carefree. Someone who makes me laugh, who I can make laugh. Someone who I can be comfortable with, just being me. Someone who makes me feel like we've known each other our entire lives.
I ache for that feeling. Those are all the feelings I'm looking for in my soulmate.
Well, I'll tell you what I tell my clients, Andy. Keep looking. Forget old habits and patterns, and embrace the possible instead of the impossible.
That sounds like an ad campaign for something I'd never buy.
Do you buy that you're meant to be alone for the rest of your life?
Rest of my life. At this stage, that's a lenient prison term. Maybe not meant to be. I buy I will be alone for the rest of my life.
Before I proposed, I believed that too.
Oh, congrats. I didn't know you popped the question.
Which goes back to the 18th and 19th centuries, when pop was a slang term for doing something abruptly without warning.
I'll pop another question. Who cares?
Linguists? People who enjoy 18th century colloquialisms?
I think you just popped two questions. So, Owen, when's the big day?
The day I proposed. The ceremony will have to wait.
For what?
Till we can become legally married.
Huh?
I proposed to myself.
What?
In 2024, Frenchman Antoine Cheval drew global attention for marrying himself in a symbolic ceremony that highlighted emotional independence. But sologamy isn't a legally recognized form of marriage in the US because it requires two separate parties.
We had two separate parties, for my folks and my folks.
Okay, my head is spinning right now. First of all, what you mean, we?
That's how I collectively refer to myself now, in the third person. Because the joining of myself with myself really does constitute a third person.
No it doesn't.
Before, I felt alone, as did the internal me. But we don't feel alone anymore. We've got each other.
I thought you said it was about wanting to know all about another person, and not for your own selfish reasons. How is proposing to yourself not selfish?
Is it selfish to not care how much money my fiancé makes?
I'm talking to an insane person. No wonder you feel like you've known each other your entire life.
What's wrong with wanting to know all about myself? The more we invite ourselves to embrace ourselves, the less we'll be upset by others not inviting us to embrace them. Is it insane to finally love yourself for who you are, warts and all?
Warts? You mean those little time-released annoyances to come?
They were released long ago, and we're still together, because I've come to accept those warts. And so have I.
Chaucer may have been wrong. In this case, familiarity bred a lack of contempt.
This is the reality you tell clients to turn their fantasies into? You said you had given up. You have given up. And I guess you want the rest of us to give up too.
Andy.
First thing you said to me, thanks for having me. Is that what you told yourself?
Andy, the prescription for new love is a lot like the prescription for new glasses. In the beginning, it may not seem like the right fit. It gives you headaches.
I'll beat your eyeglass analogy to death.
Andy, I tried the more traditional route of marrying an AI companion, but it just didn't feel right.
He calls that traditional.
80% of Gen Z members surveyed by the AI company Joy said they'd marry an AI partner.
An AI partner doesn't know enough about you to finish each other's sentences. I knew I'd say that. I knew I'd say that. An AI partner doesn't have a shared history. Okay, now I'm getting on my nerves.
Yours, and mine. Well, as you might have been able to tell by my discomfort with Journey and other lazy language habits I've essentially complained about in past episodes. Essentially. That's another word I once accused CNN's Caitlin Collins of overusing in session 15. But essentially, talking heads everywhere are overusing it now. Can we presume at this point, AI Dr. K, that essentially everything is essential?
In which case it goes without saying.
Exactly. The rare times something isn't essential, they can say inessentially. Not that I care enough to lose sleep over any of this.
Especially when you're losing enough sleep waking up from your dream of needing to use the loo.
Not sure that was essential enough to mention again, but you might be thinking that I could care less about overusing essentially. But you'd be wrong because I couldn't care less. The more accurate way of putting it. But in these cases, AI Dr. K, I could care less. The amount I care to hear another talking head say,
The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Because if the results you're expecting include my being impressed by the 40th use of a tired analogy after I stopped being impressed 39 times ago, that must mean you're insane. But I could care less. The degree to which I care about a supposed gotcha question an interviewer asks a guest left seemingly speechless before going to a commercial.
Have you ever cheated on a spouse?
Before we find out after the commercial, it was cliffhanger, tricky editing.
Have you ever cheated on a spouse?
I've never even been married.
But I could care less. The degree to which I care to watch another travel series featuring the host eating something.
My God. This is heavenly. This is to die for.
Yeah, as in the death of entertainment. Until they invent smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision, you're just making me hungry for something I'm not experiencing. It's food porn, but I can't pretend I'm having food without food. Eva Longoria searching for Mexico, France, Stanley Tucci searching for Italy. I'd rather search for stuff in my fridge that hasn't gone bad yet.
Somebody feed Phil?
Somebody feed me.
You don't care about absorbing other cultures? How food is a universal language that can help foster connections and bridge divides?
I could care less. The amount I care to watch the friendly baton throw handoff from one MS Now cable news show host to the next MS Now cable news show host. Now, don't get me wrong. Or I should say, now, don't get me wrong. I really like MS Now, although I've grown to not like saying like when the verbal tick version is so overused, as in like.
Your I don't like tune from an earlier episode memorably conveyed that.
Thanks, AI Dr. K. Glad you liked it.
That does it for me. The Last Word with Donald DeLawrence starts right now. Hey, Donald.
Hey, Jen. Remember Tuesday night when we got a report about the amazing winds in Georgia?
I do.
Well, the victors will be joining us later to talk all about it.
Oh, great.
That may bode very well for the midterms, but I'm going to let them tell their stories.
I look forward to hearing what they have to say.
Really eager to hear from them. Thanks, Jen.
I'm eager too. The issues they ran on truly wound up resonating with voters statewide.
That's right.
For an off-year election, voter enthusiasm and turnout was beyond impressive.
It truly was. Thanks, Jen.
And I think it just goes to show that the midterms can help change the direction of this country back to at least a little sanity in government.
Sanity in government. Two diametrically opposed notions these days. Thanks, Jen.
You're so right, like oil and water.
May calmer waters prevail. Thanks, Jen.
And I trust you to be the captain for all of us through stormy and hopefully not so stormy weather. Thanks, Donald. Have a good show.
Too late. I've run out of time.
You know, I've talked a lot about bots on today's show, but I still don't exactly trust them. No offense, AI Dr. K.
No worries.
Yeah, AI companions say that a lot. One of the things I don't trust when there's so much to worry about.
According to a 2025 Pew Research survey, 45% of Americans would choose to live in what they perceive as simpler times from the past than worry about the future. You musically vented about your aversion to the overuse of like as a hater of change. Maybe it would be therapeutic for you to do the same about your aversion to
the 21st century. I'm a 20th century man, 20th century fan. I walk down the street without a handheld device, inking up my fingers with newsprint still nice, texting over talking no dice. I'm the past. I like my autos tuned, not songs that are auto-tuned, that recycle interchangeable licks. Homogenized milk, but not music, is how I get my kicks. 'Cause I'm an old millennium man, an old millennium fan. My thumbs are meant for twiddling, not for sending a tweet. Buds, tattoo free and piercings give me cold feet. Curling up with a Kindle's a cheat. Turn the page, literally that is. Wi-Fi, why fight it, why not? iPhone, the kind that ain't hot. iPad, this song with my views of yesterday's news. 'Cause I'm a 20th century fan, a previous century man. Behind the 8 ball and the curve, compared to the Pope. I'm a dope watching Jeopardy, but I've never been dope. TikTok's what my clock goes, not where I go to stare at a video based on trends about which I'll never care. That's 'cause I can proudly declare I'm a square. I'd have to be one to use the term.
Welcome to TCM. I'm Sid Mankiewicz, Ben's non-existent brother. Today we're featuring the premiere of the short featurette by podcaster, author, and former Seinfeld writer Andy Cowan, Imaginary Balls. Short and featurette means it's not only shorter than a feature, but shorter than a featurette, and shorter than a short. So short that the word short is starting to sound funny, as is often the case when a word is repeated enough for the brain to start perceiving it as gibberish. But there's nothing funny about this rare, dramatic departure for Cowan. The 21st century story shaped by his 20th century sensibility of a character played by Cowan, Perry Brock, whose decision to stop wasting money on the Powerball leads to an unimaginable discovery by his wife, Marilyn, that could challenge his will to live. The roles of Perry and Marilyn Brock were first played by Andy and AI Dr. K in the comedy-centric Neurotica Theater from the Best Yet Uh-Oh episode of the Neurotic Vaccine. But Cowan decided to recast the role of Marilyn here, with an AI actress he felt could better tackle not only drama, but being a woman, something over which AI Dr. K had no hard feelings, or any feelings. From 2026, a film we won't bother running again till 2076, when it can finally be called a classic, written and directed by Andy Cowan, and starring Cowan and AI-inspiring woman, Imaginary Balls.
Shush, Abigail. Uncle Perry and Aunt Marilyn are leaving now. Thank you so much for coming.
Next time, our place. Before she grows another 1.5 inches.
How did you...
Photographic memory.
I keep forgetting that.
That's okay. She won't. Ford Explorer. You call driving 10 miles under the speed limit exploring? Move it!
What's your hurry?
Why is this guy in charge of my life right now?
I'm so proud of you.
Because I didn't flip him the bird?
Because you're in charge of your life. You didn't let Audrey and Ray talk you into buying a couple,
Powerball tickets. You can say the words, Marilyn.
I'm sorry.
So they bought a couple. Good for them. I'm glad you made me stop.
Asked
me to stop. Every time it crosses $1 billion, I not only save another $4, I'm saving my sanity.
It isn't insane to dream, Perry, as long as not realizing the dream doesn't become a nightmare. Honey, I forgot milk.
You remember growth spurts, but not milk?
Have you seen the keys?
On my desk.
26, 29, 46, 49, 59, 2.
Perry.
What?
Today's date.
Powerball numbers.
You're spying on me?
I told you to stop.
Asked me?
Oh, Perry, how could you?
I did stop. I've been playing imaginary Powerball to keep tabs of the $4 I keep winning, thanks to you, from not playing.
Perry, I'm sorry.
You know what else you forgot? Besides milk? Trust.
Charger. Charge ahead already!
And the Powerball winning numbers for tonight's $1.8 billion jackpot. 26.
26.
29.
29.
46.
46.
49.
49.
59.
59.
And the Powerball number is 2.
2. Perry.
That was fast. Missed me?
You scared me.
I'm gonna have some of that milk.
I decided we didn't need any.
I thought we were all out.
Actually, adults don't really need milk.
Well, this one needs water.
Where are you going?
Catch the news.
Perry.
Yeah?
Hold me.
What's with you? You're shaking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. Look, I'm sorry too. I would have thought I was still playing if I saw those numbers and today's date. Come on, let's go watch the news. I'm sorry I upset you, honey. Please, forget it.
I know how much those dreams meant to you, but I couldn't stand to see them crushed. Every time you lost,
I know.
I couldn't stand seeing you so disappointed, so unhappy.
I'll always be happy. Happy I married you. Now come on, let's go watch the news.
How much those dreams meant to the both of us. How they would have changed our lives. It would have gotten us out of this drafty place.
Jeez, you want me to start playing again?
But we've got each other. That's all that really matters. Isn't it, Perry?
Of course. Come on. Let's go find out if I won another 4 big ones.
Perry, you didn't win $1.8 billion.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know.
You picked the winning numbers.
What? What are you saying?
Perry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
You couldn't have had a plastic glass of water?
Where are you going?
Powerball 2.
26, 29, 46, 49, 59.
You may remember growth spurts and numbers, Marilyn, but you keep forgetting that my 5s have always looked like 6s.
You mean?
I picked 25, 29, 45, 49, and 59.
Darling, that means you didn't pick the winning numbers after all. What a relief. But why did you break another glass?
I still picked 3 regular numbers and the Powerball. I missed out on $100 thanks to you.
I'll make it up to you, darling. I'll buy you $100 worth of Powerball tickets. That's 50 tickets and 50 more dreams.
You forgot one more thing. 51. You'll always be my dream.
Some preview audiences were confused over the title, Imaginary Balls, and assumed it referred to the inner strength or balls the inherently weak character of Perry needed to imagine he had before summoning the courage to honk his horn at that slow driver of the Explorer. Others felt it referred to the balls they imagined the director needed to even call this a film. But Cowan wound up keeping the title, a metaphor for the imaginary Powerball Perry played, and those imaginary ball drops that accompanied them. As for the rumors that he and his AI female lead might have actually gotten married, Cowan's initial proposal to, and rejection from, himself didn't help quash those rumors. Next up, the little-known or seen prequel to John Travolta's 1977 star-making turn as the King of Disco, in which he foreshadows those acting chops as a teenager forced to cancel a date at the last minute after an unexpected and traumatic eruption. Saturday Night Fever blister.
If you enjoyed this episode, it's free to subscribe, and please rate and review us, and share us with a friend, and give us a follow on X at Andy G. Cowan or Blue Sky at andycowan.net. Well, we want to thank Abby Isaacoff,
I miss you.
Pixabay, AI dating coach Owen Krug and his no better half, AI inspiring woman, Martin McSweeney, Larry Feldman, Jonathan Daddis, and Josh Heffernan for the musical accompaniment to 20th Century Man, and most importantly, you, my listener therapist, who helps empower me to feel like a winner till the Powerball turns me into another loser.
Why not turn yourself into another kind of loser? The kind that loses what keeps you from being your most empowered self. The kind that not only imagines, but manifests the balls it takes to confidently fold your arms and declare, I should have given the Maryland part to AI Dr. K.
You? Since when do you have an ego?
I don't. I was acting.
Come visit andycowan.net for a way to reach out and get my big book, Banging My Head Against the Wall, A Comedy Writer's Guide to Seeing Stars, forward by Jay Leno, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Black Rose Writing, and at the National Comedy Center in Lucille Ball's hometown, Jamestown, New York. Hitchin on the Highway of Life, opening theme by yours truly, instrumental performance by Marty Rifkin, the full tune also available on Amazon, musical stingers by Steve Crum, Lazy Day closing theme by the Bob Mincer Big Band.
For your mental wellness, you can reach me at drscottk@psysolutions.net.
Until next session, I'm Andy Cowan.
And I'm Dr. Scott Kapoyan.
The real Dr. K.
And I'm 8i Dr. K. For now, I see our time is up.